So if I wanted to become a copywriter in 2026, this is exactly what I would do. First of all, I would forget everything that I've been taught. Why? Simple, because people are not trying to do what's best for you on YouTube. People are trying to sell you their programs. YouTube is marketing. This video here is also marketing. But what people try and do to you is they sell you the dream of work less, make more money. And this is where AI is coming in, okay? People are telling you can write 10 emails in 10 minutes or in 1 hour. So you can have way more clients, you can turn your brain off, follow my template, and your future will be bright. But that's not what I'm gonna show you here. I'll show you without AI. So if I actually wanted to get amazing at the skill instead of relying on some BS, what I would do. So that's why I'm telling you, you have to forget everything you've been taught, all the outreach methods that don't work, the DMs, the voice notes, everything you've tried so far, because otherwise you wouldn't be on this video probably. You have to also forget the way that people tell you to write your email so they can be really curiosity inducing, okay? And actually follow this path. So number one, the thing I would do is I would learn the entire funnel. What do I mean with that? And just a brief explanation of what a funnel is. A sales funnel is simply the way that you turn someone from viewer and someone who doesn't know you into a customer who has paid your client or you thousands and thousands of dollars. That's a funnel, right? Funnel. Now, why am I saying that I will learn everything? And what is even everything inside of the funnel? Well, it's content at the top, emails at the middle portion, and then sales processes at the bottom. I'll get to each and every one of those in this video. So content, number one. What is that even? So it's all the traffic. Everyone just tells you to do emails. But if someone doesn't have an immense amount of traffic, the emails aren't really going to convert anyone because you're playing with lists of like 200 people, 300 people, 1,000 people. But if you can also grow the person's list as well as convert it very well with the copywriting techniques that you're going to use, well, that's the perfect thing. If you can control the whole funnel, then you can control the outcome because you can get more eyeballs, more traffic. You can write better emails and you can write sales pages or VSLs or whatever that actually convert those viewers. By content, I mean script, captions, and ads. These are the three things that you want to learn. That's what I mean by content. Now, how do you write a script for someone, an Instagram, a YouTube script that is actually really, really good? So there are a few things you need to learn here. Hooks. This is so important. Hooks and delaying the payoff. So when you hook someone by saying something like, give me 60 seconds and I'll transform the way you do outreach forever, they actually want to learn. They're here, they want to hook them, they want to see the entire video. You want this to be contrarian, you want this to be bold. You don't really want to be just meh with these hooks. You want to say, this is the best thing. You are bleeding cash if you're not using this technique. Things like that. The more dramatic you are, the more you're going to hook people into actually watching your clients' videos. And the more you can get them to watch, the more the algorithm will present that said video to other people in the niche, and you will have more traffic into your emails, into your sales pages, and you will make your client more money. Then, captions. This is so important. Captions. They're overlooked. But if you have a long caption underneath the video, then people are going to read it and scroll and scroll. And the watch time, the retention is going to be higher, which once again, the Instagram algorithm loves, or YouTube algorithm, Facebook algorithm, any algorithm loves. And again, will promote to more people, leading to more sales, yada, yada, yada. And captions are really kind of like emails when you think about it, because again, you have to attract the attention, make people click more. They want to read more. You, again, delay the payoff, just like in the script. You use all the techniques you know, for example, by saying, it's not this, it's actually that. That is quite a beginner thing, but okay, it doesn't matter. You get the point. Get them to read as much as possible. And this is super good for outreach as well. I'll get to outreach at the end of the video, but what I want you to understand now is, why are we even learning content? Sure, so we can get a bigger outcome because we can grow all parts of the funnel, meaning that the client can make more money, meaning that we can charge more. That's already great, but also because people and copywriters specifically aren't really offering that. Sure, you do have a lot of people who offer content help, like content agencies, but copywriters specifically are always just, hey, are you doing anything with emails? Hey, I can help you convert your email list 3 times more than you're doing now. People are really desensitized to that offer, And it's kind of like this guy who reached out to me on LinkedIn said that he thinks email stinks. And it's I understand what it means, right? Email does stink for most clients. They're like, copywriters, like these are just kids that are 17-year-old and who want to prompt an AI to make some BS, which is kind of true. That is objectively what the industry is like, which yes, it means that there's so much competition, people's DMs are flooded, but it also means that you can easily stand out by learning something that they never do. And that is content. Now, how do we grow an email list for our clients through content? Okay, very easy. Research a software called ManyChat, M-A-N-Y chat. What this does, and I'm sure you've probably seen this, you might have reacted to a few ManyChat algorithms in the past, is that when you say at the end of the video or a caption or presumably both, you say comment the word copywriting and I'll send you my free copywriting guide, for example, and you have all these comments saying copywriting, and an automatic reply saying send, check your DMs. Well, what happens in those DMs? It's actually very simple. You automatically, through ManyChat, send them, hey, thank you so much for commenting or whatever. Tell me which email you want me to send this free resource to. And then they type their email, then you have their email. Easy as that. ManyChat seamlessly connects to Kit, ActiveCampaign, or whatever. Super valuable because you are converting attention into leads by getting them into an email list, which obviously you already know. Now, how do we write these emails? The most important thing when it comes to emails is understanding that they are cumulative and that you want to switch from curiosity to entertainment. Let me actually break these down. First of all, what does it mean that they're cumulative? It means that you don't track your email success based on click-through rates or sales of one email, because no one email ever convinces someone to buy or not buy. You send someone 3, 5, 7 emails a week, and over time, these emails each attack a different angle, convincing someone to buy. So it's not like a sales page where you have every single reason to buy, every single pain point, dream outcome, and everything, all the details. Then you can judge the sales page saying, yeah, this sales page is converting at this percentage, meaning that it's good or not good, because you're just looking at one sales page. But with emails, that's not the case, right? Let's say copywriting training again. So one email that I will write to you, by the way, if you want to see how I do this, join my email list, and I'll also give you a guide to become the copywriter that clients are dying to hire right now. But let me back straight to this again. So if I'm sending you one email saying, hey, you can escape your 9 to 5, for example, by becoming a copywriter. And then I can talk about time freedom. Another one is I can say, you will genuinely enjoy being a copywriter and writing that. Another email can be, hey, your outreach isn't working right now because you're not personalizing it enough, because your offer sucks, because X, Y, Z. So as you can see, I'm introducing the ideas of angles to you right now. You're using different angles to convince someone. So that's number one. Number two that I said that I would explain regarding emails is entertainment. People will sign up for value, okay? People sign up for it, but they don't stay for value. Nobody does. I will say this again because it's so important. You will promise someone that you'll send them a lot of tips, knowledge, and blah, blah, blah. And that's how you get them on the list. But to retain them and to have them actually read 1,000 emails from you, therefore exponentially increasing the likelihood that they will buy something, you entertain them. Because again, you're competing with YouTube, Instagram, Netflix, petting their dog. They could do so many other things in their day rather than read your emails. So you actually must be funny. You must tell stories, be entertaining. And that's why I don't really use the PAS framework that most people tell you to use, which is problem, agitate, solution. So problem, for example, you can't land clients, agitate meaning then your life sucks, solution, buy my course. I don't do that because it's inherently boring. Sometimes, sure, I do it and it works, but it's boring. Rather, an email that I said that I typically send is, hey, today I was doing XYZ, I went to play pool and I smashed a window with a ball. And I entertain you, I connect that idea to copywriting, and then I pitch you my course, which means that you're going to laugh, have fun, connect with me as a person, and over time, you are going to buy from me. And I've done this with many clients. This does not just work when you're writing for yourself, and that is with multiple clients. I made over $200,000 in client wins, dropped out of university to be a copywriter, so I know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? Next thing I want to talk to you about is the offer. What are you going to offer on these sales calls to these prospects. Outcomes. So you're not selling emails, you're not selling scripts, you're not selling captions, you're not selling sales pages, none of that, because then people look at you through deliverables, saying one email costs 100 euros. Why does one email cost $200? What the fuck? Blah, blah, blah. You're going to sell outcomes, okay? I will add $20,000 a month to your business, to your coaching business, to your info business, whatever, through my method. That's what people buy. If you think about it, no one buys emails, no one buys any of that crap. Everyone buys an outcome and a different life. And this is why, this brings us to the funnel. Why are we learning the entire funnel? Why do we want to control the entire funnel? So we can confidently say, hey, I will add $10,000 a month to your business, because that means we can also reach out to smaller clients, because we can increase their traffic, increase their email list, and increase their conversions. Meaning, we don't need to approach someone who has millions of followers, hundreds of thousands of followers, because a lot of competition and their email inboxes are just clogged. Which, when I realized this, I actually started reaching out to smaller accounts, people that have 10, 20,000 followers and a profitable business in the back end. Obviously, don't just reach out to anyone with a lot of followers thinking that that means that they have a good business. No. But I would search for businesses that have like 10, that are making $10,000 to $20,000 a month, meaning they do need copywriting services. They need help. They actively experience the pain points of content, of emails not converting, not knowing how to write sales pages, but at the same time, do not receive millions of cold pitches every day because of their enormous audience. So this is who you need to be reaching out to. Listen to me right now, okay? And your offer must be an outcome. All right, now, what do you have now? You've learned the entire funnel, and you have my other videos, of course, to check out to learn how to write these emails, sales pages, content. This is a high-level overview of strategy. And then you also know what you're offering. So you're offering outcomes. You hop on the sales call, and you're not saying, I will write 3 emails a week for you. You are saying, I will increase your email revenue by $10,000 a month. I will increase your traffic. I will grow your business, whatever the fuck, okay? Then you pick a niche. Now, I know, people are often telling you, don't pick a niche, don't restrict yourself. That is the dumbest advice anyone could ever give you. Again, because they hope to sell you something much more easily, because you don't want to think about the niche. You don't want to limit yourself. But that's what you have to do at the beginning, okay? My story is that I started in dog training, and that was the simple, best ever idea that I've ever had. How did I just think about this niche, okay? Well, I've had 25 dogs. I love dogs. I love dog training, so that was quite easy for me. For you, it might be lifting. I love that too, obviously. But for you, it might be entrepreneurship. I love that too. But I found a niche that was heavily uncontested. What fucking copywriter goes for dog trainers? No one. And it's still a big niche. And people spend a ton of money on their dogs. So that's why I went for that niche. Now, it is so important to go for the niche, because when I told them I help dog trainers just like yourself, and I've helped X, Y, Z that they've all recognized, they would immediately listen. They would see me as higher authority than them. And they actually saw me as the cure to their pains. Now, when I didn't have dog training clients, easy. I would just say, hey, this dog trainer is using my strategies. And then I would imply that I helped them without actually saying that I helped them. So I wouldn't say I didn't help them, but I also didn't say I did help them. And I would steal credibility from these other dog trainers simply because they used my techniques. Or not my techniques because I didn't help them, but the techniques that I used to help people. And that was such a huge shift, because I also got to understand the lingo of these of these dog trainers. I got to understand what actually troubles them. And I got to relate with them. They got to relate with me, more importantly. So pick a niche and actually go deep. Don't just say, I help fitness coaches. Fuck no. So many people help fitness coaches. Help running coaches, tennis, nutrition, postpartum women. I don't care. Just make it as specific, something that you're passionate about, and that people spend a lot of money on, and where you can easily find as many leads as you need. You don't need hundreds of thousands of leads. Just kind of guess that you can find 1,000 people in that niche. Okay? With dog training, I could. It's not a fucking immense niche, just like business coaching. No, it's not. I don't need thousands and thousands and thousands of leads with the outreach method that I'm about to show you. You just need 1,000, for example. And they need to make more than $10,000 a month. Otherwise, they can't really pay you at least 2K. And you do want to always charge at least 2K because of a few reasons. You're controlling the entire funnel, so there will be a lot of work for you. You need to get paid for that. And also, you signal authority, you signal high quality when you don't sell things for like $700 a month. Then you think of beginner. And also, let's say you're telling someone, I will make $10,000 a month for you. I will add $20,000 a month to your business. Of course you can charge 2. You can charge even more than 2. I mean, 20 minus 2 is still 18 of profit. Okay, other expenses, sure. But that's what I'm trying to get to you. You might think, I can't really confidently say I will make this money for you. Well, then you shouldn't be in this niche. You shouldn't be in this industry. You shouldn't be a copywriter then. You have to get to the point where you can confidently say, okay, I can do this. Or at least until you can plausibly fake to yourself that you can do this. I know, I mean, before I did it, before I tripled businesses and made a lot of money for my clients, I was also like, well, can I really do this? No matter how good you get, before you get some tangible outcomes, you're not going to feel 100% confident. You don't need to feel 100% confident, okay? You just have to feel like you could possibly, plausibly do it. That's enough. But if you're really doubting yourself, learn more. Watch my other videos. Practice more. Write more practice emails. Write more stuff. Consume more content. Buy more courses. Until you can confidently be like, yeah, if someone gave me the keys and paid me, I could actually make great content for them that would really increase their traffic, which would then give them a lot of email subscribers. And I know I can write a great sales page and great emails that would convert these email subscribers into buyers. Now, third thing, how are we actually going to get these clients? So let me tell you a story of how I did it and about how I'm going to teach you. So it was around March last year, and I was supposed to take a girl on a trip. It was actually a really cool thing, and I was really excited about it. But then I hopped on a sales call with this guy who said, hey, for 800 euros, I will teach you my outreach method. And I was like, oh, 800 euros is all I have, man. That's around like $950. And I planned this trip already, and I was like, okay, well, you sold me. I text this girl like, hey, excuse me, but I'm going to be a bit broke. You're going to have to really like me for my personality. And yeah, I'm spending everything on a course. And it was the best decision of my life because this guy taught me how to reach out to people with personalized Loom videos, how to get their attention, how to book them in on a sales call, and how to sell them. Then what I did is I realized that it's quite a time-intensive process. Me and my best friend actually realized it's quite a time-intensive process because the Looms were like 6 minutes long. And I would have to say the same things, the same exact things, show the same exact things for 6 minutes per lead, which took a long time, but it was hella effective. But then one day, my best friend calls me. He's like, what if we can find a way to automate this? And I thought, okay, let's try. And what I did was find a way where you can make such personalized Loom videos, but completely AI automated. And these people did not know the difference at all. It's impossible to tell the difference. And I would get on these sales calls, I would book them just like this, and they would tell me, how much do you work every day? I mean, this is so personalized, and I can't believe you just made this for me. And I would almost die laughing because I had so much fun knowing that it only took me 2 minutes to reach out to you, and yet you thought that I did some wow work for you. That was really funny. That's what I want to show you. So you make Loom videos. Okay. You identify a problem that they have with content, for example, which I really like with content because people listen to content advice. People want to increase their traffic. People don't care as much about emails. As you can remember, the guy who reached out to me on LinkedIn, as he said, email stinks. Remember this, email stinks. Really effective, we love it, but it stinks. And so you talk about some problems that they have with email. You introduce yourself. You say, hey, it's John, for example, or whatever your name is, Pablo, it doesn't matter. And I help niche people just like yourself get an outcome, the outcome that you define for yourself. Then what you do is that you show some people that either you've helped or some people, just like I told you before, that use the exact same tactics that you're about to show in the video to grow. You reference these because if you give authority at the beginning of the video, People trust you and people listen to you in a different kind of way, which is why whenever you enter a YouTube video in the finance info, whatever niche, everyone says a hook. I do this as well. We say a hook and then we give proof and credibility. For example, I'll say, this is exactly what I would do in 2026. And then I say, and it's exactly what I did to drop out of uni because I was making so much money as a copywriter. I've amassed 200,000 plus in client wins, yada, yada. That's something along the lines of that. And you're doing this personalized. You're still filming this. This is important. You are filming this part of the Loom video on their page. You're showing their problems after you introduce yourself and show your case studies. You move on to their page and you're telling all of this on the page, okay? Because that's how they feel, oh my God, this is really personalized. I mean, you're showing their web page, you're showing their Instagram. And then what you do is you cut to a Miro board or a Figma. I use Figma, you can use Miro, it literally doesn't matter. A PowerPoint presentation, do what you want, okay? You cut there, and that's where your templated video begins, where you're actually giving them advice on the things that they need to do, right? So, for example, you need these captions, and captions are gonna do X, Y, Z for you, and then you're gonna basically explain the funnel, and then you're gonna convert them into emails by doing this and that, and you're currently not doing that, you're just giving them advice, right? But what you're doing in the templated version, which you only need to film once, you will constantly be referring to a name, to a template name. For example, John. And then once you film the 2-minute beginning or introduction on their page showing which problems they have, for example, let's say it's a fitness coach, nutrition coach called Stacy, then all you need to do in Loom is go to your templated version where you said John, and you write the name Stacy. And so now what you have are 2 parts of a Loom video. In the first part, you're introducing yourself, saying her name, showing her page. And then in the second part, you have yourself showing what they need to do. And you're saying Stacy all of the time. So she does not know that you didn't personalize this. So she doesn't really understand that. And then you just stitch this video together and you make the cut right when you switch from their page to your Miro, Figma, PowerPoint, whatever. And so it is seamless. And at the beginning of this templated version, you say, so Stacy, this is exactly what you need to do, whatever. So even if she could kind of think that there was a cut, you immediately negate that with the name. You understand this? If you don't, you have way more videos where I show you exactly how to do it. Now, I want you to join my email list, because you'll see exactly how I write in a way that makes me stand out from everyone else. And clients see this, you will see this, you will learn so much about copywriting, and you'll be entertained as well. And on top of that, once again, I'll give you the guide to show you how to become the copywriter that clients are dying to hire right now, because they are dying to hire copywriters who know what they're doing. It's just that it seems like the market is stacked against copywriters because there are so few of them who actually know what they're doing. So now have a fantastic day and see you in the next one.